Good evening, friends, and welcome to yet another session of Candid Meena. And we have a very special guest today, and it is Dr. Sunil Wagh ji. And welcome, Sunil ji, to our show. And thanks for your time. Thanks for taking out time out of your busy schedule and being here with us. So, friends, today's topic with Dr. Sunil ji is good health and fitness with special attention to senior fitness or people aged above 65 years of age. Is that the correct way to sort of call a? I don't know what's the which age is at the moment. Could you explain, Sunil ji?
Yeah, okay. Now that's a very relevant question actually, because although we call senior citizens in general terms, you would say someone above the age of 60 at least. But if you go to see in our country, especially since I'm dealing with senior citizens day in day out, I would say I would call seniors as above 50 actually in this particular country, because we don't have a culture of fitness from the beginning. We are just kind of getting it at the moment. It's just taking shape slowly, but I think we've still got a long way to go to make fitness a culture for seniors or for juniors to kind of take up early and then cultivate that through life. So I'd say 50 plus is a senior for me at least. Okay.
Oh, so 50 plus year is the, I mean, definition of senior age.
I would put it that way. I would put it that way. Yeah.
Okay, okay. You're talking about the biological age, uh,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Right.
got to do with habits and just how what we've been doing, what we've been taught to do, all those kind of things, because we don't have an inherent culture from the beginning. And from a child's, you're not taught that outdoors is very important, spending time in nature is important, and fitness is important. Those kind of things are just kind of falling into place now. So I think it'll take time for us to be called senior citizens strictly after they say the age of 65 or so. So we have some time. So we've got some work to do.
Yeah. So what is interesting is that since the past say 10 to 15 years, you have internet playing a big role, and in especially that people are not people are sitting inside their homes most of the time in front of a computer, not being active for most kind of jobs, and yeah, and you have the sedentary lifestyle, right, which has taken which is part of the modern lifestyle, right? So this is a big problem, where before the age of the internet, where people used to literally go to shops, buy groceries, and also they used to maybe buy vegetables. They used to walk and go there. But now with the touch of a button, you can order food from the likes of Zomato or any of or the apps. So technology has made our lives very comfortable, but at the same time, there's I mean, there's no sort of we are becoming lazy, and we don't take exercise into consideration. So and that's the key problem, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. See, let me put it this way, just as a very simple way to explain to people. It's very important to work at your job, like most of us do. But I think it is more important to work on yourself, because your job is just a part of you. And if you're not going to be healthy and active enough for a long time, then your longevity is also going to be affected, and your job will also be affected eventually. So it is important to work, but you've got to work on yourself. You can't forget on yourself. That's an important part. Now the other thing is, see, there is a difference between just good health and fitness, because good health is something, many people feel that because they have hereditary or genetic good factors within them, they do have good health. I mean, in other words, maybe they feel they are okay, they don't have any illness, their reports are reasonably good, they are on few medications, so they say that they are in good health. I agree with that. That's okay. But as you age, eventually your body will deteriorate. So whether you are in good health or not today, just depending on your genetic factors is not going to work, because you are going to deteriorate unless you put in some hard work to maintain or keep those genetic factors active within you. So fitness comes into play at this juncture, that once you have decent genetic factors, you then work hard on your fitness and maintain that or even improve that. In fact, improving that is more important, because your body will keep degenerating unless you counter that degeneration. So that is where things like good diet, good exercise, very good habits. Now, habits, I will stress on this part, because many people don't understand the importance of very good habits, and that actually controls a lot of things that happen within your life, your just your good health and things like that. So what are the things that you really need to incorporate daily in your life, whether you're a child, whether you're an adolescent, or say whether you're an adult, senior citizen, there are certain very basic habits that have to be there within your system. And these habits have to be just like, you've got to find an excuse to keep doing that, not an excuse to not do things. See, we are wrong when we find excuses not to do things, like not to exercise, not to eat right. We are all very clear with finding those excuses, but we have to work the other way around. Find an excuse to do the right things. Only then are you going to really have the benefit of good health and good fitness. So I mean, you can ask me questions, but what I will like to do is kind of mention a few of these habits which people need to incorporate in their lives on a regular basis. A habit is a regular thing, so it has to be done. So I can come back to that if you have any other questions to ask me.
Yeah, so Santosh asks, is walking helpful for senior citizens? So,
Okay, now walking is brilliant. Let me now explain this. And I think people have to understand this very clearly. See, when I say walking, there are basically two kinds of walking. One is a very leisurely walk, which most people think that, it can be classified as an exercise. A walk necessarily is not an exercise. A walk could be an exercise, but it can also be a leisurely movement, just a relaxing movement. The way you walk, the intensity with which you walk, the regularity with which you walk, these make that walk an exercise. So, if you have a planned walk, like I'll give you an example. If I'm going to walk the same speed for the same distance every single day for, say, 1 year, that after the first month does not qualify as an exercise, because after the first month your body gets saturated. It kind of gets conditioned to that 1 month of regular walk. But beyond that, it doesn't give you any big benefit, because you're just doing it the same way. Now, what I want people to understand is that once you get comfortable by walking at a particular speed and at a particular distance, then after a month or maybe 2 months, you must make a conscious effort to either increase the speed of your walk a little bit, or at least increase the distance of your walk. So if you cannot increase the speed, walk a little more. Say if you're walking 5 rounds, make it 6 rounds, make it 7 rounds after 3 months, make it 8 rounds. So when you do that, that becomes an exercise and not a leisure activity. Otherwise, it doesn't become an exercise. Remember, unless you strain your body and your heart very gently over time, you will stagnate at a certain point. So, stagnation does not bring about growth. Stagnation becomes stagnation, and you just think you are doing something which really doesn't have a positive effect on your body or your mind. So, whether it's the mind or the body, There has to be a slow and gradual increase in intensity of whatever you are doing. So, in other words, in simple words, to make walking a proper exercise, concentrate on either the distance of your walk or on the speed of your walk. These are two ways in which you will strain your body in a very systematic way, and that becomes an exercise. Okay, so remember that. That's very, very important.
So when you talk about straining your body, what is the age limit are we talking about? Like, are we
There
talking
is
from?
absolutely no, this is another factor where we need to understand one thing. There is, see, the body is an extremely adaptable system. Okay, the more you sensibly and smartly strain it, it will undergo positive changes. Now I'm using the word smartly because you cannot do something over the top. You know, you've got to be smart. You know your limits, you know how, you know your own body. Nobody needs to tell you anything, but you need to understand that a little bit of discomfort and a little bit of pain should not stop you from doing things. What we do is, the moment we have a little niggle or a little pain or a little discomfort, you stop doing that thing for 2 days. The point is, if you have a little discomfort, now I'm using very selective words, so when you have a little discomfort, you need to work the next day also. Don't take the break the next day, because the body needs that discomfort for it to grow the next time. Stopping at that time is not the right way to do it. So that, you know, you have to understand these terminologies such as discomfort, pain, exhaustion. Now these three words are very important. There's a big difference between discomfort and exhaustion. I will not tell you all to do anything to the level of exhaustion, because you all are senior citizens and things like that, but discomfort should not stop you from doing something the next day. So this is where you need to understand that a little bit of this and that is not an excuse to not do something the next day. So once you're over that pain threshold, every human being has a threshold of pain. Now, your job, if you want to get better in your fitness and health, is to try to lower, I'm sorry, you need to you need to increase your pain threshold. You have to see that you are able to tolerate a little bit more of discomfort, pain, things like that, just so that you can get better at what you're doing. The moment you are living within a comfort zone, you're not going to get better. Let me tell you that. You have to get out of your comfort zone. So, whether you're a young person or whether you're an elderly person,
Hello.
yeah.
It seems that we have lost. Yeah.
Yeah. So whether you're whatever age you are, don't live or work within your comfort zone if you want growth, if you want development, if you want a better health, if you want better fitness. You have to you have to work hard for it. Nothing is going to come easy. You've got to be working. Okay.
Yeah. So, right, like in the medical field, each person need to have a medical checkup before, having an exercise regime. That is that what many doctors say, that you have to undergo a medical test on a case-to-case basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, see, any form of exercise, any form, even if it's a brisk walk is an exercise, not a leisurely walk. Now, even if you're going to do a brisk walk, ideally it makes good sense to first consult your physician or your doctor and just take that little clearance from him, because he knows all your medical problems, he knows your genetic problems, he knows all the possibly all the factors that could affect you negatively if you exercise. So it's better to take a clearance from the doctor and then go ahead systematically with whatever you want to do. And just understand your own body. That's what I would like to say. And then respect your body, understand it, listen to it, and respect it. So these are the three things you can do. But you are your best trainer, you are your best guide. You will only be able to do the right things. Nobody should be, no trainer is going to treat you the way you treat yourself. So it's important to understand your own body, which is different from everybody else's body. So these are simple but small things. You need to keep them in mind, and you have to register certain changes that happen within your body when you do something. When you eat something, when you do some exercise, there are changes in your body which only you know. So they have to be registered. You need to keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I've seen, just one recent case where there was this oldest man in the world, right? Like he's from India, and he follows, yoga, and he has a very strict diet regime. And so, you think that yoga is more, beneficial for senior citizens than the gym and all those activities? Is that?
Uh, okay, so yoga is a very, very necessary. You see, yoga, meditation, well be now you have wellness courses. All these are very good, but they have their own place in maintaining fitness. I will not say that they are the only thing that is required. They are singularly useful. You do require a different form of exercise also, but yoga is great. People who do yoga will always have their lungs and their flexibility and their mind in good condition. And so it is extremely important you do it, but you also have to supplement it by doing some aerobic exercises, some really good strength exercises. See, as you grow older, what is going to happen is, first thing is your balance, your body balance, your posture. These are things that are going to be affected negatively. So these happen because the body loses strength. And if you don't build strength in your muscles, you will have problems of stability, you will have problems of balance, you're likely to trip and fall. So all this has to do with strength. So strength is something you need to maintain, and you can maintain strength if you're going to do some vigorous yoga, kind a little vigorous yoga, or you have to do something with therabands or weights. I don't like seniors to use dumbbells, but instead of that you can use therabands or resistance tubes or medicine balls. These are very easy to use, and you won't have injuries caused. Instead of like if you use dumbbells, you're likely to have that problem. uh, just give me a second. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Sure.
sorry. Just
Sure, sure, sure.
there is a
Yes.
little. Yeah, okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah, yeah. So now you have any sort of latest equipment for helping senior citizens in India? Any sort of equipment which they can use in their homes to
Yeah.
help build their strength or something?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I do is, I concentrate. Apart, I have three classes: one for youngsters, children for sports skills and fitness; one for the elite athletes who represent the state and the country in some sports. And the third thing is called Golden Hearts, which I do only for senior citizens. And now this is important because what I do is I'm training them to have good posture, to have good balance, to have good strength, to have a better flexibility in their body, and also to increase their endurance levels, so that they don't get tired quickly. So what we do is we have these classes, but we use things like, we simulate conditions that are existing in their daily life, and we create that atmosphere and that environment and make them do things in those environments, so that they get kind of practice to do the same thing properly, like uh, lifting. See, many people have knee problems as you grow older, a lot of people. So they cannot really lift their leg or bend their leg too much. So we keep working on their legs to strengthen the lower body, so that they don't they can do these things a little easier, and they can also have good balance because their lower body is stable.
Yeah. Um, so it's something like you're training them for exercises which help them in their daily routines inside their houses.
Yes, yes, a lot. Not only out in the houses. See, the roads in Bombay, or where we live, or any city in the India, the roads are so bad that when they get out, they don't have the confidence to walk on those roads or cross the roads. So we create some hurdles and make them step over those hurdles. We increase their peripheral awareness, so that they are aware of how they have to walk, and where they have to look, and how, if they happen to trip, how they can prevent an injury by a reflex movement of their body or their hand to protect their head or their back, or things like that. So these are basically reflex actions. They have to be trained. You can't you will not be able to do this unless you are practicing these kind of things. So we try to make it a kind of muscle memory, so that it just naturally happens. If something happens, they immediately follow up with the action that is required.
So what is muscle memory for the viewers? Could you explain?
Muscle memory is nothing but a reflex reaction to a particular action. So, for example, I'll give you an example. Like, suppose I now this is a very common thing that happens to people, old people, when they are in the bathroom. Sometimes you may be extremely fit. You're a fit, healthy person, but if there is, just suppose that the bathroom is wet, the toilet is wet, and you get inside, and you are not focused, you don't realize that there is water down, and you just happen to slip. Now if you happen to slip, what generally happens is you slip forwards. You don't fall in front, you fall backwards. So what happens is your head is likely to hit the ground behind you. So now, if the head at the back hits the ground, you know what can happen. It could be fatal, it could be highly dangerous, anything could happen. So, what we train people is that if such a thing is happening, your left hand immediately goes behind your head as you're falling. So it's just, now when you keep practicing this, when we tell them that put your hand behind your head, put your hand behind, now that order that you give gets into the mind, and when you practice it, it becomes something of a immediate reflex. So it becomes muscle memory. Basically your hand immediately goes behind your neck or your head, just to buffer the fall, so there is a hand between the hard floor and your head. So now that makes the biggest difference to prevent a major injury to the back of your head. You can really have a problem. So these are just examples of things that you can do to prevent any injury. That this is muscle memory. Basically muscle memory comes when you do see, you create a habit. When you create a habit, it becomes muscle memory. It is just you're not happy without doing that particular thing, or you just have to do it. Like every morning people brush their teeth. Why do they brush their teeth every morning? Not because they want to brush it, but now they know every day that before you go to work, you have to, before you eat something, you have to brush your teeth. So that is now become literally muscle memory. You put your brush in the mouth, the way the brush moves in the mouth is going to be the same every single day, because the way you do it, say for 1 month, after that it just becomes muscle memory. You put it in the mouth and the hand will move. You don't have to even make your hand move. It just will move in the right places. So these are all examples of muscle memory.
So it's like driving a manual car after say 2 to 3 years, it becomes like part of the
Yes,
subconscious,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah. So
subconscious mind. And
see, that's why people say if you learn a sport like bicycling, you just cycling. Say you learn cycling when you're small, or you learn swimming when you're small. many years you don't do it, you will still, if you're thrown in the water or you're put on a cycle, at least you know what to do because you've been doing that for so many years before. So it becomes muscle memory. So
Yeah.
yeah, so a habit is what has to be created.
See, what I have noticed is my grandmother, she has, she has been confined to, home, and she does very less walking because she has a nerve problem in her leg, and, her legs are quite weak, and she has to sort of, take the help of the wheelchair to go outside. So do you think those kind of problems also, can, get better through these exercises?
Good question. Now, see, in my just an example, in Golden Hearts, we have people ranging from the age group of 45 to 94. I think my eldest, 94 is my eldest student, if I may say so. So, now, and all of them have come with different medical issues. So we have people with bypasses done, stents put, they've got a stroke, cerebral stroke cases, muscular skeletosis. They've got lot of issues. High diabetes, obesity, knee problems, uh, rheumatoid arthritis. These are all, and now, very frankly, to tell you the truth, we are seeing fantastic changes, really good improvements in almost all the cases that we are dealing with. And basically, what is helping, according to me, is just, the companionship of all the other people. See, senior people require uh, they require people like them, or around them. They're socializing at a particular time, a regular socializing for 1 hour. uh, then the other thing is just the exercises that they are repeating again and again and again, that is making a big difference to them, because their strength is increasing, their confidence is also increasing. See, once the confidence increases that you can change, regardless of your current situation, just with proper guidance and with regularity. uh, these kind of things make a big difference. See, again, I say that the human body at any stage is capable of repair. So you should not give up on your condition at any stage. So whatever your condition is, you can always try to get better just by working hard. So if you take this other step, and if you think that no, I cannot get better, then you are anyway not going to get better, because it's just not going to happen on its own, and you will deteriorate faster than what you would have. So as you age, you have to exercise, your fitness has to increase, not decrease. So the work has to be put in and not reduced. People think that as you grow older, you have to do less work. It's exactly the other way around, because naturally, every year after the age of 35, every year your muscle strength, your endurance, your agility, your balance, everything decreases. Physiologically, it decreases. So unless you counter it by working, by putting in some exercise, some good diet, controlling your habits, bad habits, and good habits, incorporate good habits. These things will help to delay the aging factor also, and will help to counter the aging process. Okay.
Yeah. So we have a question from True Indian. Can fat be converted to muscle for senior citizens, or do they have to put a lot more effort, doctor?
Yeah, so you have to put in a little more effort, and that is where the problem of pain threshold comes. See, the moment you become strong mentally, the moment you you can understand what discomfort is and what exhaustion is, you should be able to do your fitness schedule, your workout, to a level where you will tolerate a little bit of discomfort and pain. So the work has, you have to work harder on your body, harder than what you were doing before, and more regularly, and try to absorb that little discomfort and pain that you get smartly. Again, not to the levels of exhaustion, but smartly. And then you will see the body kind of responding in a positive way. You will start gaining muscle, your fat gets converted into muscle, and your body will get toned. You'll become, basically you'll become stronger. Overall, you will become much stronger.
Okay, we all know that diet is also equally important in your fitness journey. So, what is the kind of diet you recommend in your fitness regime?
This is a very, I'd say, uh, see, diet is my. I'll give you what my experience with diet is. There are lots of dietitians and nutritionists who will give you diets. I have a very simple funda with diet. For me, what is important is, you first thing is, you avoid the bad things in diet, which most of us know. We know we are not supposed to have too many saturated fats and oily food and too much sugar, all that. Now, I don't need to give a lesson to people on that, because everybody knows about what not to eat. My problem in with most people is that you have to learn to control the volume of food that you take in. Start controlling the volume of food, and you know what not to eat. So that's fine. Just avoid the things you're not supposed to eat, but that does not mean that you eat more of the things you're supposed to eat. See, that this is what people don't understand, that okay, I'm not eating all this, that means what, I can eat everything else. But everything else also has a limit. You cannot eat too much of everything else, because then again the number of calories you're consuming is much more than what your body requires per day, or should be requiring per day. So volume of food is very, very important, just as the quality of the food. So try to reduce the volume of food and increase the amount of exercise a little bit, so that your fitness levels become much better than what they were. So automatically you will lose weight and you will put muscle, because you are burning calories. You are burning more calories than consuming calories. So automatically what is happening is, your weight is also getting less, and you are also getting stronger. Your muscles are getting stronger. So that's the way to go, if you ask me.
Because doctor, a lot of people, they do this once in a week. They do a cheat day, where they just indulge in each and every, high calorie food. And what do you make of the cheat sort of concept in a week?
See, these I'm more a supporter of the generation that was probably two, maybe a generation or two before us, the way they used to treat life. See, all these words like cheat and all now, I'll tell you, if you want to cheat, you first have to reach a condition where you can afford to cheat. Okay, so you first become, first bring your body and mind into a proper condition, so that it is so balanced and it is so conditioned that you, even if you cheat on one day, it should not have any effect on your body. Then then that cheating is justified. But cheating when you have not achieved something that you want to achieve is not going to help you in any way. Then you don't call it cheat, you just call it your daily routine. So my point is simple, that if you are serious about your health and fitness, then words like this cheat and all need not even come into your mind, because you concentrate on your health and fitness. And once you reach that level of conditioning, then you can cheat, and you're welcome to cheat, because that cheating does not have any effect on your body. Like, you have conditioned it so well that one day here and there does not make any difference to what's happening. That's what I mean.
Okay. True Indian says replacing wheat, rice with millets. Is it a good idea for seniors about the age of 60, or is it trial and error, case to case basis?
Yeah, now there are lots of things happening. See, these kind of prediction, I won't say prediction, these kind of statements are made, and maybe they're good. um, I really will not comment too much. There are people I know who have done this. They feel it is helping them in some way, so it's fine. I also know people who have tried it and who have said that no, it's not really helping me in any way. So again, as I say, if your mind and your body does agree to do such a thing and you feel that you're feeling better with it, please go ahead and do it. There is no harm in doing that, because it is eventually you and your body. So think about it. If you think it's helping you, please go ahead and do it. There is no negative factor seen. It's not a contraindication. So it's up to you, and I'll leave it on a one-to-one individual basis only. Please go ahead with it if you think it's good for you.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you have to strain the body in such a way that the improvement of the muscles happen, right? Like when the body is slightly uncomfortable, then you should increase the intensity. Am I right? So
Absolutely.
so,
Absolutely.
do you suggest that many people are of the opinion that if you jog daily on a daily basis, your knees will wear out eventually? Do you think that that is the case, or?
No, I won't say. See, now there are factors here. Now there are people who can jog. There are people who cannot jog because their knees pain. So what I would say is, for people who can jog, jogging is good. I would advise you to put a knee support. Just put a knee cap. You get a nice soft. There is a company called Bold Fit, BOLDFIT. On Amazon, you can order. I think it costs 600 or 700 rupees for two kneecaps. Get those knee supports, and then if you're jogging, you can jog with that knee support. Either jog, ideally you should jog on grass or on a softer surface instead of jogging on concrete or on any hard surface, ideally. But if you're still comfortable, you can do it. I personally don't I will not say don't do it. You can, as long as you're jogging correctly. If your form while jogging is right, okay, you can do that. So just wear a kneecap, and jogging is great. If you can't jog, your knees hurt when you jog, all you can do is just brisk walking, a little quick walking, um, with a timer. You should know how much you want to walk and how fast you want to walk. Or you can also at home, if they say it's the monsoon, all you can do is stand at one place in front of the mirror and just march at the same spot, just up and down for at least say 5 minutes. Just march briskly on the spot, up and down. You know how you can march with your hands moving and your legs moving. So march on the spot. That itself is a very good aerobic exercise. So you can distinguish marching, jogging, running, brisk walking. Do whatever you want, depending on what you're comfortable doing. I mean, if your knees and all hurt, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, there's a question. Is sleep very important? How many hours of sleep is recommended?
Okay, nice. Sleep is absolutely necessary. Good sleep is necessary. Sound sleep is necessary. I mean, I would say 7, 8 hours also is a very good time to sleep. See, this is now I'm talking about senior citizens. So ideally, you can sleep for an hour or so in the afternoon after lunch, not immediately after lunch. After lunch, take a small, just in the house, you can just walk a little bit for maybe 5 minutes to just digest your food. And then you can take a small nap for half an hour or 1 hour. Night you need at least 7 hours of sleep, I would say. uh, and remember one thing: sleep is the time your body gets stronger. The body does not get stronger when you are exercising. The body gets stronger, it grows, it develops, it repairs only when you are at rest. So rest is absolutely necessary for good fitness. There is no question only about that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a case to case basis, right? Like I've seen many senior citizens using walking sticks and such devices while walking on the road or inside the house. So do you see that in certain cases maybe if they do all these exercises they wouldn't need these walking sticks or something?
Yeah, see, many people have allowed, personally, this is my feeling because I've seen people over the years. Many people have been advised wrongly, unfortunately, have been advised wrongly by certain, doctors, especially orthopedics and all, saying that because this is paining, stop doing this, because this is paining, stop doing that. The moment you are going to stop doing things and depend upon other things to do that job, that particular part of your body is going to get deactivated. It gets, since you're not using something, it just gets worse. It's not going to get better. So my argument with such uh, advice is generally to, in fact, be a little aggressive in your treatment and tell the patient to solve the problem right there. Because I'll give you just an example. Most of the time the knee is a major issue, so people with a little knee pain are advised not to climb stairs or not to walk too much, or not to do this, but little realizing that knee pain could just be because the muscles which are supporting the knee on either side, your calf muscles and your thigh muscles, if these are weak, your knee is going to be weak, your knee is not going to be strong. So the moment you strengthen your calf muscles, your ankle muscles, your quadriceps and your hamstring muscles, automatically the support of that knee joint is much better. So the knee is able to take the load of the body, and you will find it easier to do the things that you were not able to do. Now, if I just stop doing the things I was doing, how is my knee going to get better? It is just going to get worse. And then I will need a walking stick. I will need some wheelchair eventually because nothing is happening. There is no movement of my knee. I mean, you know, I am I am very, very, very against a lot of things. Unless there is an osteoarthritic problem, unless there is some major ligament problem which can be repaired, unless there is, rheumatoid arthritis, unless you need a knee replacement, those are different factors. But they also can be treated, and you can get back to walking. You can even get back to running. I mean, for example, I have a friend who plays badminton, who was a ex-India player. Now he's 75 years old. He has had 22 operations on his knee. 22 operations on his knee, and that man still plays active badminton. So there is nothing to stop you from not doing something. It is how you need willpower, you need discipline, you need a good attitude, and you need persistence. These are the things that you need if you really want to get better. You can't just have a negative attitude and say, I from now on I can't do something. So I'm just giving you examples, and this is just one example. I can give you many examples of people with major surgeries and lot of things who have got back to what they were doing, and in fact are doing it more vigorously than what they were doing before.
Question from Mayaji is should you avoid sitting and keep moving about inside the house and bending and stretching
Yeah,
and all those things?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Movement. See, as you age, you have to keep moving as much as you can. One, so that your joints and your muscles and your tendons and everything, ligaments, they are all functional. And now, when you mean movement, every joint is a particular kind of a joint. So the movement has to be a full movement. Like if I have to move my, say, elbow, for example, the elbow movement should be a complete range of movement. How much can the elbow move? I mean, how much is it designed to move and how much it moves? Now, these are two different things. So, you have to try to maintain the complete range of movement of every joint in your body, including your neck, including your fingers, including your toes. Everything needs to be activated every single day. Every single day.
Yeah. So for those people who are not able to walk and are confined to limited movements, they are sit in one place and they need some help. So do you think in those cases massages help there with the body muscle improvement?
Yeah, it can help, but see, things like physiotherapy, massage, these are more, these are palliative measures. Palliative measures are basically just designed to keep you okay. I mean, just feel good, feel a little better. But they are massage, or things like this oil, physiotherapy. Unless the physiotherapy is done with some intent, you have to have an intent to make that person's particular body part stronger. So you see, even if you are on a wheelchair or if you're in a chair and you can't really do exercises, there are many, many, many exercises that can be done whilst on the chair. So again, that is not really an excuse to not be able to do something. So there are exercises. In fact, exercises for the full body can be done sitting in a chair. You don't even need to stand up. I mean, in my class, we do so many exercises just sitting on a chair. There are some people who cannot really stand for too long, but they are also getting better now with constant strengthening of their body. It's eventually, it is only strength. See, eventually for seniors, it is the strength in the body that will control a lot of things that will happen in the body. So
Yes.
you have to strengthen all your body muscles.
Yeah. So one last, thing I would like to discuss, Sunil ji, is that especially you need to have a very strong mind also. Mind and body is one, and also I guess even seniors need to, practice the habit of meditation to, before exercise. What your take on that?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said right in the beginning, yoga, meditation is absolutely necessary, and it does a lot of good, because the mind is actually what is going to control all your actions, whatever, even your thoughts. Thoughts and your actions are going to be controlled with your mind. So you need to develop a very calm mind. You also need to develop a strong mind, so that you take the right decisions and you also remain a positive person. So for all this, yoga is ideal, meditation is ideal. um, Absolutely. I mean, that's an integral part of senior aging uh, process, and what they should be doing as a habit also. It's a good thing.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Sunil ji, and for coming and answering all the questions and imparting your knowledge, especially to all our viewers. And we will hope to see you again soon on our show. And thanks for coming again.
Thank you very much. Let me wish all your viewers also happy, aging, because I want people to understand that age is not, there is no limit to getting better and things like that. So don't let your age keep you back, hold you back. You can still do a lot of things. So that's the final take I will say on this. Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks.
you so
Thanks.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.